It's working. There we go. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Yeah, Mr. Z started late, but of course I did. Of course. Okay. Who are we going to thank for this stream this morning? It's a mixture between Medium Man. It was interesting, a little funny, a little sad and sobering, seeing Medium Man frustration, although he may not call it that. That's what I saw. A Medium Man getting frustrated, right, with the sisters, and they worship. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, obstructing detected. Got it. With the ladies and their frustration. Well, say that better, Z. Medium Man's frustration with the ladies and their white male worship, because they're struggling. So we could think that the clip that I put in the description box of Catherine Liu, I want to say Dr. Catherine Liu, professor, and her speaking about the professional managerial class, which she has been speaking about for a while now, and how the professional managerial class are essentially class enemies, although oftentimes they earn less, if not the same, as some of their blue collar contemporaries, if that's the word I want to use. But because of their taste and their education and being white collar, and their particular upbringing, they act as the class enemies, or they practice, excuse my language, class deletion, well, self deletion, or I said it better than that. Yeah, class deletion. And Catherine Liu speaking about that, she said something to, and I'm kind of beating myself up because I saw the interview coming that Brianna Joy Gray did with her, and I didn't watch it, and now I'm beating myself up because I didn't get to watch the whole thing. And I got the notification, and then now that I didn't watch the whole thing, the clip that I have in the description box, I don't have the context of what they were speaking about before the fact, right? Because as you can tell, they were ending the interview out with that, so that kind of sucks. Okay, but whatever. The reason why I put the clip from Catherine Liu, Dr. Catherine Liu, in the description box is because she said something I think we need to go through, right? We need to unpack. She spoke of, essentially there being no guarantee. And Brianna Joy Gray spoke to that too. I'm going to eventually have to, do my Velcro strap, shoestring budget recording of what both of them said about going to school, having this education, and essentially, I'm paraphrasing, the precarity, right, that's in the system, even for this particular class of people, and how essentially there's no formula to success on that level. It's not guaranteed, better yet, I should say. The formula, the guaranteed formula is no longer there. And I think that speaks to why oftentimes these people act as class enemies to the same people they're in class with, even if these people are blue collar and they're white collar. I'm tying that to the conversation because Catherine Liu said something I think we really, really need to go through. And I want to say she said around the 4-minute mark, which is as these things become more precarious, and I'm paraphrasing once again, people are going to fight even harder. Now, pause right here. Any of you recall, I think I said it on my channel, but I can't remember where else I've said it. Maybe on Art's channel, where I spoke of, as these things get crazier, you're going to see women of color in particular, women in general, but women of color become even more dogged about ending up with the elite rich white man. As the wealth continues and the opportunities continue to be hoarded at the top and they lock the door behind them, you're going to see women of color in particular, black women, become even more materialistic. How is that possible, Z? because they would have been pushed further away from it. Huh? And Congruous says, Z, I just read an article that states that plumbers, electricians, and HVAC guys are the new millionaire class. The quickest way to become a millionaire is to buy a car lot, right? The quickest way to become a millionaire is either to open a car dealership. Like that's from my understanding, I think that's like one of the other one. But I mean, I'm pretty sure those are the hard asset millionaires that you're speaking of, the electricians and whatnot. But like liquid millionaires, yeah, car dealerships, right? And International Ronin says doubling and tripling down, shaking my head. Yeah, but the women don't know. Look, man, I said this, I meant it when I said it on my channel. It wasn't to blow smoke up our collective asses. Mr. Z is not even capable of doing that. But the women don't know. They're not studying what we're studying. They're not looking up the things we're looking up. The Brianna Joy Grays are rare, man. They're rare, right? The nappy headed hobas, the even the Kim Fosters, they're rare. Train tracks, they're rare. They don't know and they don't care. Your average woman doesn't know, nor does she care. She doesn't know, she doesn't care, and she doesn't care to know. She just wants what she wants. And to hell with everything else that brothers like us are saying in these spaces. And quite frankly, men in general. This is why y'all saw me clip and I do it every so often, maybe once or twice a year, where I go over, especially for my new subscribers, right? The Disneyfication of the entire environment. I go over neoliberalism. I go over the Powell memo, right? I had a conversation with Compassionate. I know I was supposed to do that this weekend. Lifed. But we're gonna bring that to y'all. And no, Chief Rock, I did not forget about you, right? And no, Buckeye fan, I did not forget about you either. But yeah, I go over these things, and I go over the Gary Marsh, the former CFO of Disney Channel, literally saying we did lifestyle marketing to the girls. Yes, you heard right. They lifestyle marketed to the girls. Those girls are now younger Xer women, millennial women, and the oldest of Gen Z women. They're never gonna let it go. These women are cooked. I don't even use Gen Z slang that often, but Gen Z, perfect word. These women are cooked. They're gone. They're never, ever, ever coming off of it. So you as brothers either, and no pun intended, make a whole lot of money and stuff money in her mouth. Every time she talks, just stuff money in her mouth. Either you make enough money to buy her compliance for as long as she's willing to comply, or you stay away from her and go. Shout out to Black Uru. Go find your woman in the bush. Shout out to Hot Sauce. Go find your woman in the bush, because they're all hypergamous. At least the woman in the bush hypergamy is not through the moon, right? It's not to the moon, better yet. Right? So all the links that I have in the description box is speaking to the struggle. They're struggling. And shout out to Trell. Yeah, Mr. Z could have put a whole lot more links of the women complaining about the financial struggle. We've seen the collage of videos of the women and they're recording themselves in their car, speaking about how they're struggling to get groceries and all these other things. They're struggling financially. And yes, there were one or two women that were married, but most of those women were single as hell. What I also have in the description box, shout out to Single by Choices, is that heavyset sister that's now living in Vegas, but she's originally from LA, right? And her saying she's looking for a man and she's looking for somebody stable and she's not looking for no homosexuals, etc., etc. If y'all recall, the first half of that goddamn video, homegirl could not get her life together. She over here putting her bra on camera. Yeah, y'all heard right. No, she did not show the tickle bitties. But either way, she put in her bra on camera. She lacked all type of discipline. Kendra got to keep on telling her, stop moving, stop moving, stop moving. You're shaking the camera. Stop moving, stop moving. We're losing patience. Stop moving. When people finally start going in on her and flaming her, then of course she get irate, of course. And I could flip this camera any kind of way I wanted. And that's why you're single, man. And that's why you're single. Right? Lack all type of discipline whatsoever. But she bragging that she got her own house and her kids live with her, whatever that means. Okay, so you're an adult. Right? And really you're not, because you have the emotional maturity of a 7-year-old. And what got Z, by the way, all these things tie together. What got Z was, and this is why Kevin used to say it, the world doesn't owe you understanding. What got Z is, I'm recording because I keep on missing you, and because I'm always at work, and she was looking for someone to give her sympathy or someone to understand. Yeah, she wasn't ready, but she just had to jump on now because she keeps on missing it because she's at work, and I wasn't ready. I gotta put my bra on it. And even when she was trying to scold the comments, she was trying to chastise the comments for going in on her, and they did, to be honest. She spoke of, essentially, well, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. No, you're on the internet. Right? If you were doing that well, you wouldn't be looking for a man. Goddamn, Z. If you were perfectly content with your life, you wouldn't be looking for a man. And the reason why you brought up homosexuals is because that is your state. Ooh, goddamn, Z, you said it. That's your station, Miss Lack of Discipline. You are 42 years old. You're 42. You've been engaged how many times? She said once, one time. Then she said 3 times. Then she said once. Yawn. You're 42 years old. You are a security analyst, whatever she said. You couldn't hack it in LA, so you moved to Vegas, call a thing a thing. You're a heavy-set, dark-skinned black woman with 2 kids from 2 different dudes. Have fun. I guess we'll see you in the next couple years with some frumpy-ass white man, and you'll be saying, love is love. Somebody tells you he lying. Oh, she's in Vegas. Maybe a Latino. A frumpy-ass looking Latino. Maybe. They're struggling, y'all. They're struggling. That's what all of these things say. They're struggling. It is arrogant begging. Shout out to LAR. Right? It is arrogant begging. And that's all we see here. And the arrogant begging comes with chastising. The arrogant begging comes with comparing black men to these omnipotent, omniscient white men, right? These ever-present white men, these supremely powerful white men, these mythical, magical white men. And the most frightening thing is the advertisement is so trash that Medium Man put up his video, and some random white dude is in the comments. It's like, all these women are pretty much messed up, but black people can constitute such a low percentage of the population, and black women just seem to be the most egregious. Random white dude in the comments for Medium Man's video, and he's low key in a weird way jabbing at black women and being like, bleh. That's your average white man right there. He's saying that all of these women, it's not just a black women thing. Black women just seem to be the most egregious about it. What does Mr. Z always say? Shout out to Crimson Cure. And I need to find a way to get in contact with Crimson Cure, because I think as a black woman, I think she would she would do best with this. I think also Shay Sade, and maybe I have to tag them. I'm gonna tag them in this and see if they'll entertain me for a little bit. I think black women in particular can speak best to this. It's the myth of white womanhood, man. I would argue a number of black women. I would argue the majority of black Americanized, not, Mr. Z, be more honest with that. Westernized, ooh, goddamn Z, you went there with it. Westernized black women, Americanized black women. The reason why they don't follow no rules and they don't give a damn, and with the long eyelashes and the long nails and the we do what we want, how we want, it's because they can't be rich white women. Mr. Z keeps on bringing this up. They cannot be rich white women. And if they can't be rich white women, then to hell with everything. I will show my ass to everyone, kiss my ass to everyone, because y'all won't make me a rich white woman. And if I can't be a rich white woman, then to hell with everything, including the people nearest to me, black men. I'm tying that to the Catherine Liu interview that Brianna Joy Gray did. Check the description box. By saying she said it. As these elites lock the door behind them, essentially people are going to become more dogged about getting into that position. Tie that to intimacy and relationships. What you think? She was talking about class and education in the professional managerial class, right? The PMCs. Tie that to relationships and intimacy. Now, tie that to relationships and intimacy. I'm talking about heterosexual relationships. Tie that to heterosexual relationships, intimacy, and income and race. Ooh, how bad does it look? You want to talk about intersectionality, right? Huh? You want to talk about intersectionality? What does it mean when people say, if I can't be up there and screw everything and then add race to it? We already know if America has the cold, Black America has the flu. So what does it mean when you have a white collar, educated white woman who earns $68,000 a year, right? Who earns $72,000 a year. You can't tell her nothing because we already know 2/3 of men in America, that's all men. 2/3 of men in America never earn more than $65,000 in their lifetime, never earn more than $65,000 a year in their lifetime. And this is a, let's say, 32-year-old, 28-year-old white woman who earns 72 a year. You can't tell her nothing. You can't tell that lady anything. Now, let's add race to it and let's say that's a black woman. Oh boy. At 32 years old, that's only half of her working life. You can't tell her anything. If you can't tell the white woman or the Latina that earns $72,000 at 32 years old anything, what can you possibly ever tell that black woman that earns 72 at 32 years old? What can you ever tell her? Huh? You think that woman isn't going to try to hold out and wait for a very niche type of man? Remember, we're speaking about a white collar black woman here. Okay, fine. None of that matters. How does she advocate? Oh boy. How does she speak about black men? Yikes. How does she speak about black men in the presence of non-black people? Huh? This is why Leisha Miller and other white leftist feminists think they can make subtle jabs at black men as some way of showing their solidarity with black women. They're air quotes solidarity with black women. Because black women do nothing but talk crap about black men all day. Because their relationship life and their intimacy life and their dating life sucks because these women are assholes hiding behind a degree. Huh? Exactly. And Saint Cyr says, Alexa, play Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. Right? So all of the other, it's women are struggling. This economy right now, we already know what inflation did to people. And we're the ones who are having these conversations. We're the ones who are putting up these charts and these graphs in our community post. Go check Real Talk with Yanni's community post. Go check even Kim Foster's community post. Go check their community posts. Are they posting these things? Huh? Now, you juxtapose that to a Mr. Z or to a BGS or to Sarge Willie Pete. Huh? To a Media Man. We're keeping the men informed of the overall environment. Huh? We're the ones keeping the men informed of what the environment really look like. To keep y'all from being delusional. Whether good or bad. Hey, average weight of women in America is 169, 5'4". That's the size, 5'4", 169. When you add black women, add another 20 pounds to that. It's something like 5'4", 5'5", 169. For black women, you could add another 20 pounds to that. It's more like 15, but 20. So like 185, 186, 189, something like that. 5'4", 5'5" for black women. That's what you got. That's your average woman in America. That's your average black woman in America. Take it or leave it, good or bad. That's what it is. We inform y'all so y'all can know this is what it is. That doesn't mean everybody done seen a billion slim women, but for the most part, that's America. That's your average American woman. White, black, Latina, even Asian women. I know. Shout out to y'all in the LA region and in the New York region. We didn't see them chunky ass Asian women. Stop it. Huh? We already know your average college educated woman is swimming in debt, particularly your black college educated woman. Huh? We already know something like anywhere between a third to 40% of Americans can afford a $400 emergency. Something like 60% of Americans can afford a $1,000 emergency. That's the real America. That's the America we speak about in the black community. Sorry, Z, you said it wrong. In the black manosphere. That's the America we speak about in the black manosphere, not black women. Huh? And then you have people like Z who recite these numbers over and over. I know I'll be reciting it every single time. I know. That's what we speak about over here, so people can know. So when Trell is dating that super horny ass 52-year-old, shout out to you, Trell. Trell going all the way under the bus today. When Trell dating that super horny 52-year-old and she hit him with that phone call after about the second time he smashed, no, he called her. And she's like, no, I'm just sitting here, looking at these bills. Huh? Just looking at these bills. Trell already knew that was he already knew that was gonna be a thing. She gave up the vagina as a way to pay it forward. Huh? That's what it is. I say this so Demetrius and Vince can know why the 38-year-old and the 42-year-old is flirting with them, because she don't got no goddamn kids and no money. And she looking for some young, horny ass dude to knock her up. She would rather you stay, but if you don't, that's okay. Look, Ryman. Huh? That's what we speak about over here. We're being honest over here. And shout out to who sent me? Was it you, Vince? Who sent me the I was gonna watch it anyway, but the think piece from FD Signifier's B-side channel. And he essentially said F us over here. And I wonder if he's talking about Z, where he's like pretty much saying like he's done with us, ain't no negotiation. Like he didn't say all of that, but essentially he was like essentially F the dudes over here. Ain't I'm doing too much, but he didn't say those words, but that was definitely the message, which was yeah, he's on the right side of history, and F what we talking about, essentially, is what I heard. And I'm gonna keep on saying it. FD, if you listening, which brother, what you talking about don't mean nothing. What you're saying means nothing if you can't get men to pay for women. Tying back to the topic at hand, the women are struggling. If you cannot get men to pay for women, if you cannot get some type of man, a black man, a white man, a Latino man, an Asian man, an indigenous man, some type of man to pay for black women, and you could say whatever you want, you and Foreign Man and Conscious Lee and Professor Odie and all of these people, Little Bill, Andrewism, y'all could put out all the content y'all want. Y'all could get these men to stop being as quote unquote aggressive and mean to women as much as you want. If you can't get these men to pay for women largely that they're not having sex with, have fun with that one, then everything y'all are doing when it comes to quote unquote community is a waste. Exhibit A, like Kim Foster said, the women crying in their cars because they can't find men. No, they can find men, they just don't think those men are on their level. Then starve then. Okay, these women got their own money. Then be single with your Rose toys in. Huh? That's the real. The real is that the women are struggling. The real is that they've been lying to your average black man for decades. These women aren't out earning us. They're not. They're not out institutionally educated. Okay, fine. Indoctrinated, right? Fine. But they're not out earning the men. They're not. Black women are not out earning black men. That's for sure. So what else? What was all of this talk over the past few decades? Your daughters now have cell phones. They have high-speed internet, right? And what they're actually telling us is that they're struggling financially. Uh-oh. Um, what I shared in my in the if y'all check my shorts right now, for those of you that haven't seen it, I posted a video where a brother was like a brother did the skit with a sister, and they were getting out of her car, and she was driving, and she said, I can't believe you make your wife go 50-50. And he was like, yeah, but for us to save money, right? It's good to save money. And she was like, I could never. And he was like, well, what does your husband think? And she was like, oh, I don't got no husband. I ain't married. And he said, exactly. And he turned around and walked away. And that was the funniest thing in the world. Here's the kicker, right? In the comments are women copping pleas. Now, to be honest, to be fair, there are women in the comments who are saying, well, that 50-50 is way better than 100-0. There are women that said that. So there's a few women in the comments that said that. For the original post, I'm saying, for the original post. There are women that said that. But also, in the comments are a couple of women who said, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. And comes their quote-unquote reasoning. Yeah, y'all talking about 50-50 financially. What about chores in the house? You gotta love it. The white woman arguments. Once again, black men are the most egalitarian men in this society. You gotta love black women who take on white female arguments. Y'all tell me, y'all show me all the black men that ain't washing no dishes. That's not gonna sweep a goddamn floor. Show me all the black men that said I'm too manly for that. Whoa. Right? White women start saying weaponized incompetence, black women start saying it. Huh? And thank you, Mr. Shook, to you for the share. Thank you. Right? Y'all click that link, that'll take you to the video that I'm speaking about. Why is Mr. Z bringing that up? That is speaking to what I'm saying. And yet they're still talking crap because they help it. They don't know any other way. They don't know any other way. If you meet a cool ass black woman, you grab her by the hand and you run for your life away from all the other black women. You damn near don't want her to have a goddamn cell phone. Right? I shared, as a matter of fact, I gotta put that in my description box because now that I'm mentioning it. I shared that, and if you check the title of what I put, this is what those women online sound like. I could never, yeah, you could never, Chrissy, ooh, goddamn Z. Huh? Yeah, you could never, Paris, ooh, goddamn Z. Huh? I said Paris, sorry. Yeah, you could never, Yanny. Paris is married. Paris got married on y'all ass. Huh? Yeah, you could never, Chrissy. Yeah, you could never, Yanny. Huh? These women are struggling. They're just arrogantly begging. Shout out to LAR. These women are struggling. And I really, like, when I put on my conspiracy theory hat, right? I really think this is like some muaha BS going on because we keep on getting these women that are doing well financially, the handful that actually can financially afford not to be in a relationship, they're the ones talking. The Kim Fosters of the world are the ones with the microphone. And that's not your average black woman, not even close. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's not even your average black woman, not even close. That's your average woman, not even close. Your average woman are the ones crying in the car. Huh? Your average woman is the one that might be a little too prideful to cry in the car, but when you listen to them talk long enough, right, their complaining is them crying out. Right? That's your average woman. The Kim Fosters are not your average woman. But those are the ones with the microphones. Right? Those are the ones doing all the talking. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I sound preoccupied. This is just, reckless streams. Those are the ones doing all the talking. But the average woman is struggling. And we know they're struggling because they were the ones recording themselves, especially coming out of COVID, especially when the Fed started hiking up the interest rates. Women went all over the place. White women, Latina women, black women, all recording themselves in their cars, talking about how high the prices of groceries are and how little they can buy with $100 at the grocery store now and $200, and how all their check is going to rent and to groceries. Rent, groceries, and gas. And not the gas that you smoke either. Huh? Let me see what and Mr. Shik to you says arrow beggar. Arrogant beggar. Put it in the book, arrow beggar. Huh? So the question now is not for black men, but for this system. How do you plan on fixing this? Uh-oh. How do you plan on fix? So what I really think, to be honest with you, as millennials, I think they threw us away. I'm gonna be honest. For all us millennials, you younger Xers, you might as well. You're included. You oldest of Gen Z, sorry, you're included. So everyone, pretty much from 20 to 50. Yeah, Trell, you too. I think they threw us away. I think the West threw us away. The West just looks at us as a lost generation. Whether you're doing okay financially or not, I'm talking about as a generation. Even though we're not all in the same generation, but as a generation, I think from 20 to 50, they threw us away. When you listen to Dr. Catherine Liu speak, and she's speaking about essentially the elites locking the door and how essentially manic the professional managerial class of people are going to be, and the only thing that's going to get them off of like pretty much being the class enemy of their blue collar brethren and sisterin is when they realize they can't get into that elite class. They have the education, they have the acumen, they have everything, they have the discipline. It's just full up there. They're not going to let you in. The door's locked. And trust his Lost Boys lifestyles of the rich and famous. I gotta put the song now. Oh man, that fits perfect. That's actually a really good reference. That's a really good reference, Trill. Right? I have to find a reason to put Renee eventually. I have to have a reason to put Renee. I have to. Yeah, one day I'm gonna have a reason to put that song. Right? And Saint Cyr says, with Expendable Z, 2 whole generations at their disposal. But we gotta be experimental. You put the women over the men, the girls over the boys, right? Then you added it in neoliberal capitalism. You shipped all the factory jobs overseas for corporate profit, right? You rejiggered the education system so that the women could start outpacing the men. So the women have more degree, even though the men still earn more, but under a certain age, not so much, right? The women are screaming that there's no men on their level, and that's with only 40% of women earning more than their male counterparts. At 40%, they're already screaming. God forbid it's 50 and 51%. I guess they'll be jumping off of bridges. You keep on between the Telecom Act, right? The repeal of Glass-Steagall, Mitt Romney over here saying corporations are people because the Supreme Court said corporations are people, right? These feckless ass politicians, I really want to use another word, these feckless politicians allowing BlackRock and these other type of corporations to buy up single family homes by the boatload, by the neighborhood. Huh? Very few people are doing lifetime work at one place. You work at one place for 25, 30 years, you retire, they give you your gold watch, your pension. Cheers. Everybody knows your name, right? And you get to retire um, being the old pervy dude sitting outside on the rocking chair humming at the young ladies walking by. Nope. Work until you die. Right? Systemic issues. So the women are struggling. We're the ones talking about it. We're the ones putting numbers to it. Huh? How many? We know the average home price is somewhere between what 415 to 450, something like that. We know that. How many women know that? Let's be even more detailed. Our naysayers. How many of them know that? How many of the divestors know that? How many swirlers know that? Fine. How many leftist women, leftist black women know that? Huh? Thank you, Charles. Shout out to Citizens United. Corporations could pretty much super PAC a politician they don't like to death. They're just gonna run against you. They're just gonna find some rando politician that's gonna do their bidding. They'll back that politician financially and just get you the hell up out of here. Huh? And you gotta love the name Citizens United, not Corporations United against your ass. That's what it should have been called. Corporations United against you. They called it Citizens United. You gotta love it. And all of this affects our society, our system, our mating and dating habits, our marriage rates, our childbearing and child rearing, how we go about that. The other day when I was speaking about hoping that we as black people, namely black women, don't raise sociopaths, all of that tie together. All of it. When you live in a corporate shark ass environment and you're not conscious, you might think, yeah, raising a sociopath as a kid might be beneficial for that kid when they become an adult. I can understand how you can come to that conclusion, especially in this environment. Huh? The women are struggling. The elites threw this generation away. We could tell by Biden saying, Mr. Z didn't forget that Biden said he have no sympathy for millennials, y'all, which y'all thought Z forgot. I didn't forget. Huh? I didn't forget that Dave Ramsey, old bum ass. Talking about, y'all need to put gravel in your son's stomach. They have no grit. Shut your old ass up. Huh? You know what grit would look like concerning you, sir? I'd rather not say. Huh? I'd rather not say. I would rather you speak to the white dudes about what they think about you, Mr. Dave Ramsey. Huh? So they threw younger Xers, millennials, and the oldest of Gen Z. They just threw them away. Just get it how you live. We're going to hoard all the opportunities, all the wealth. We're going to give it to our children, obviously. We're going to lock the door behind them because the system that we created doesn't have true social dimorphism where you rise and fall, but when you fall, you don't fall all the way to the floor and bounce a couple of times like a Street Fighter, right? The system that these people created, where they lock the door behind their children, shout out to all you Asians, we told you. You're like these Ivy Leagues, or said it wrong, Z. You're trying to get into these Ivy Leagues. Y'all thought signing on to be an anti-affirmative action was going to open the door for you, and at a couple of these Ivy Leagues, your entrance rate went down. Your entrance rate, excuse me, went down. Oh, it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. But of course, it gets worse. Before we even get to college and university level, too many Asians move into a neighborhood and the white folks run out because they don't want their kids to have to compete against the Asians and be out competed. We tried to tell you. Y'all keep on thinking it's merit. Z, you still said that wrong. They know it's not merit. That's why they're willing to sacrifice their daughters to the white man. Goddamn, Z. Huh? Z, they don't think it's actually merit. Stop believing that crap. They don't think it's really merit, Z. They just do that to try to prove themselves to white folks. Like they're not like the Negroes. And yes, we're still on topic because we're still speaking about the struggle. These people are struggling. These people are struggling. I don't think we fully appreciate what white folks did on planet Earth over the past 5 or so centuries, and what America has done since the end of World War II, in particular on planet Earth, and how it rejiggered the entire global system to work in its favor. The entire global system to work in its favor. And when you hear America, hear white, huh? And the women who would and should, I said what I meant, would and should be standing next to you, black men, fighting against this, to make a more equitable world for their children, and quite frankly, for everyone, including them same lame ass white folks. They're too busy chasing after the white woman and the white man. I said it the way I meant it. And that is why they're struggling, rightfully so. Huh? So Leisha Miller and Kim Foster can speak about how these women no longer need men because their very narrow group of women they're around may not financially need men. Real Talk with Yanni can continue with her with the incentive, all that she wants, because her and maybe a couple of other black women she knows financially don't need men and they're not relying on any type of government program or subsidy. Cool. The vast majority of women do need men financially before we even get to the emotional and mental part of being alone. Financially, they need men before we even get to anything else. Black women in specific, huh? And L says, but Z, if they forsaken us, why are they so heavily invested in keeping us in line and silencing opposing elements, e.g. Tate? You're stepping stone Stacy. Yes, Els, even you in the UK, you're stepping stone Stacy. You're at the foundation of the entire pyramid scheme. Number one. Number two, because of the cool factor and the trend that black men set, if you start going a different direction, other men are going to pick that up and they're going to start going in a different direction also. Right? And Maurice, thank you for the Cash App. Thank you for the Cash App. They're going to start going in a different direction also. The problem the system has is how do they get you to subsidize the women without having kids with her, without being married to her, without having sex with her? Because the elite are closing ranks. They're closing the door. Yes, you're gonna have leftist elites talking crap about the elites on the right and the elites on the right talking crap about the elites on the left. Yes, that's gonna happen. But they're closing ranks. And they're locking that door behind them. They're tired of especially the sisters. I'm gonna give the sisters that. They tired of educated, loudmouth black women walking up in there and be like, oh no, this whole thing is messed up. We're not talking about the ones that go in there and they're like, ooh, I'm finally here. Ha. Finally, I get to talk crap about the black men the way I always wanted to. I'm one of you now. Shout out to Oprah. Oops. Huh? They're tired of the like Nina Turner types. Not to blow too much smoke up in Nina Turner's rear end, but still, they're tired of that type. Right? And so they're locking the door. The only type of upward mobility they want to see, if any, they really don't want to see any, is the JD Vance of the world. Right? You get there, you virtue signal to people on the bottom, but you essentially do the bidding of elite rich white dudes. Right? So they're closing the door. And of course you're gonna have people going insane. They're already going insane. Shout out to Dr. Catherine Liu, Asian woman, And if you caught the beginning of what she was saying, and she said this on other interviews also, so that's why I'm able to recount this so well, is she kind of resents like the outright competition that the children are put in. And we know like the children that be put in competition. Like, let's be honest, we, especially as men, black men, you don't want no pansy ass child. Cool, true. But and she said something very interesting because I don't recall her ever framing it this way, the way she did on Breonna Joy Grace channel, which is like we raise our kids to share and be nice and be caring until they're in kindergarten, and then we raise little capitalists. This goes to what Mr. Z was saying earlier on a previous stream live I did, where I spoke about these sociopaths. And consider what Dr. Catherine Liu is saying here. You raise your kid to share, to be kind to others, to be thoughtful, Don't be an a-hole. And then they hit kindergarten, first grade, and it's all out competition. You raising little sociopaths. I know a lot of people don't think that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Right. And what I'm saying, I'm tying that to the struggle. The struggle, I would argue, is going to make people become even more dogged because they're going to try to break the windows to get into the elite class. They're going to try to kick the door in to get to the elite class. The elite said, we don't want social and economic dimorphism. We don't want that up and down. We don't want to fall from this position because we created a world that's so messed up that if we fall and if we fall too far too fast, we're going to slam on that ground and it's going to hurt. And you know we live in a world where people make fun of you for quote unquote falling off. Huh? So they said, we're going to lock this door behind it. And I would argue this is why they got rid of the college requirement and the university requirement for a lot of those tech jobs. Yeah, it's because there were talented people that were being blocked by not having this credential or that credential. Absolutely. And Trell, you could correct me if I'm wrong if you have a different theory. And all the other tech guys that's listening to him right now. I would argue, yes, it had something to do with that. But I would argue the other reason why, because I just want to bring my buddies in. Right? I just want to bring my buddies in. I don't want them to have to go through the whole rigmarole and have this degree from this school and had this much experience. No, I know he knows just enough, and I'm gonna put him in a leadership position, and the people under him, we're still paying them good enough, and they'll just do the work for him. Right? No, they're locking the door behind them. They're locking the door behind them. This was never supposed to be open competition. Open top competition is how you have an African brother with an exotic name being, vice president of such and such. That was not supposed to happen. Huh? Open competition is how you have the Indian dude being at the head of Google right now. No, that ain't supposed to happen. Nope. And Trell says that is really the reason Buddhism, no merit. Not Buddhism, Buddhism. Right? Let's call it thing. You imagine, and it was so just a little personal. One of the law offices I worked at, this is back in 2010. It was this little Reese Witherspoon ass white woman. She was the second highest ranking. She wasn't even an attorney, by the way. Second highest ranking person at the job outside of the partner whose name was on the goddamn door, right? This lady struck such fear in people. You're talking about a 5'4" tall, like I said, older version of Reese Witherspoon in the face ass. You know, she was slimmer than medium built. She wasn't like stick figure, but she wasn't big either. She wasn't medium. She might have been a little bit smaller than medium built. But like I said, Reese Witherspoon in the face ass, 5'4" lady, and she struck such fear in everyone, more than the actual partner. You see him on the elevator, you'll be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? This dude pulling up in Bugattis, I'm not joking. Huh? Porsche 911 turbos and all. Turbo S, excuse me. Huh? But he's not that. His name is on the door. He can blink and have you fired. But that's not who strike fear in you. It's the little 5'4" Reese Witherspoon face ass white woman. They want to end that. The theys, whoever they are, want to end that. Huh? Now you gotta love tying this to FD Signifier. FD Signifier, when he did his think piece recently on B-Sides, and he was speaking about Amber Heard and how Amber Heard isn't the perfect victim, and how he kind of went into detail, and he looked through the story and realized that Johnny Depp is still an abuser. It's just that Amber Heard, and this is his framing, Amber Heard didn't just take it lying down. So she fought back, and so because she's not the perfect victim, we treat her like she's not a victim. Okay, whatever. Anyway, all I heard from FD is the same thing I heard from Princella, which is white women are victims too. Oh boy, you gotta love it. You gotta love listening to people make white women more women than they are white. Oh, you gotta love it. These women have never missed an opportunity to be duplicitous. Never. Black men, black women, other people of color, minority groups, marginalized. They got one foot in, quote unquote, being oppressed by the white man, and one foot in, yeah, but I'm still going to marry him so I can get them benefits. They had the perfect opportunity to stab the white man in the back coming out of civil rights movement. And black women stabbed the black men in the back, and white women said, yeah, I ain't going to do it though. I know I said I was going to do it, but I ain't going to do it. And those same white women are who FD thinks are more women than white. Y'all never look, man. Y'all male feminists and y'all black female feminists. Y'all never miss an opportunity. By the way, I'm still on the topic. Y'all, yeah, no matter what the white women do, and it's funny because they think we're the ones who defend white women. Yeah, that's it. Y'all keep on thinking these white women put their femininity or their femaleness, better yet, not femininity, their femaleness, their womanhood over the life. They're never going. Let me say that again. Outside of them purple hair feminists, and they better be eating vagina too. Outside of them purple hair feminists, the same sex loving ones, if she's straight, I promise you she's full of crap. Outside of those purple hair feminists, the white women are not putting solidarity with marginalized people and the oppressed. They're not putting that solidarity in front of the lifestyle. I don't care what she tell you. Check her lifestyle. Check the statistics. Check her lifestyle. Huh? Tying that right back to what I'm saying. These people are struggling. The white women said, I'm picking the lifestyle 10 out of 10 times. See, how could they vote for Donald Trump after he said grab him by the vagina? Because she's white. And that sounds like her uncle. Goddamn, Z. That's why. That sounds like her dad. That sounds like her older brother. That sounds like one of her cringy ass cousins, older cousins. Thank you, Trill. She ain't living off of Martin Luther King Boulevard. It was fascinating watching that think piece from FD, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me get this right. This dude ain't never apologized to black men in the Black Manosphere, not a never. But he randomly picked this time to apologize to white women, essentially saying, you know, I mentioned Amber Heard and I want to apologize. And what? Right? You gotta love it. And y'all gives you 1 second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah. You gotta love it. But that goes to show you the contempt they have. I'm tying this to the struggle. The more we see people struggling, financially struggling, now they don't even have the tools to form and to keep intimate relationships, intimate bonds, excuse me, bonds, intimate bonds with the opposite sex, so that, yeah, you might not have the money like that, but you have someone that's helping you through life and you helping them through life. And Big Game says pure coonery. More, man, the more FD stays over there and he protects his money, the more he's gonna just be like, F us. Forget us. Forget the black men in the black manosphere. Like I told y'all, he already said he made us obsolete and he worked around us. The funniest thing in the world. If you ain't getting these young men to pay for black women, I don't know what you talking about. If you can get these, because contrary to whatever the hell y'all hearing from Kim Foster, your average black woman don't got it like that financially, and she needs help. So if you're not getting black men to pay for black women, you could talk whatever you want us to talk. So yeah, FD is gonna. What does it say? It's difficult to get a man to believe something, especially when his lifestyle or paycheck is dependent on him not believing it. Right? These people are struggling. The women are struggling. Black women are struggling. Your average black. Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. Your average black woman is struggling. Your average black woman is struggling, and yet we keep on hearing from Kim Foster and Teen War, huh? And Nappy Headed Jojoba, right? Real Talk with Yanny, all these people that these women are living vicariously through that actually got a couple of dollars. And we'll pause right here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And a split Jim says, and thank you for the super chat. Wait, Z, the PMC should try and spin the block on the blue collar because they can't hang with the elites. So I think Kim Foster, I think she said some very important things about the mindset that comes from some of these black women. They think blue collar is beneath them. They think blue collar is beneath them. They think blue collar doesn't appreciate education. I keep on saying this every time we speak about this, right? They don't think that blue collar appreciates the aesthetic of things. Why you buy the 3 Series BMW or the Tesla Model 3 over the F-150, right? Why do you buy the Tesla Model 3 or the Benz E-Class over the F-150, over the Chevy Silverado, over the Dodge Ram, or now just Ram, right? Why you get the condo downtown over the 3-2, right? In a normal neighborhood, not so much burbs, not really in the city, you're not in the hood, but you might be slightly kind of hood adjacent, right? They don't think you appreciate that as blue collar, and your tastes are different. I think Sagar's reading, even though I think Sagar is a bigot, a South Asian Indian bigot. Yes, you, Sagar and Jetty. But his reading of class and college educational attainment. There we go, Z. Right, being university or college educated. I think his reading of it's not just the piece of paper. It's the experiences, it's the taste, it's the music interest, it's the places you want to travel and vacation, it's the things that you consume, the entertainment you consume. It's not just the college attainment. So when you see blue collar, yeah, blue collar, that doesn't mean that there's not blue collar people that are not college educated. That doesn't mean that there's not blue collar people that have the same interests as white collar, or maybe vice versa. And you can argue a lot that what um JD Vance represents somewhat is kind of this um class uh, class betrayal, because he was allowed in the door and then he's speaking about blue collar in any type of laudatory way. So you can argue a lot of leftists might see that in him also, that he's not. And this is, by the way, much of the reason why they got mad at Ta-Nehisi Coates too, about his speak, what he said about, the small hats over there and what they're doing over there, and his worldview is that they're letting these people in the door, and these people aren't sounding like them. Now, of course, leftists, we already know that much of their um, thought process when it comes to what's going on over there in the Middle East aligns with Ta-Nehisi Coates. So for them, that's not where they may throw him under the bus. But for the conservatives, that's why. For the liberals, they throw JD Vance under the bus because he wasn't supposed to sound like that. He was supposed to be waving his finger at the blue collar men, at the men, at white men in particular. He was never supposed to say, "Wait a minute, there's something to think about here. Like, these women don't want to marry blue collar men. That's most of the men. These women, these single cat ladies, think they should have just as much say, if not more say. You think because you're college educated, you should have more say? And yes, you're not overtly saying it like that. You are acting on it, though. You think you should have more say than the women with 2 and 3 kids that are married to blue collar men? I think JD Vance messed up by overtly. He didn't say it the way it needed to be said. Single cat ladies think they should have more say than the women with children, and I disagree with that. They think they're smarter than everyone else, right? And just because they're holding out for rich men like me, he should have just said it. They know better, and they should have the reins to what direction this country goes in. I think JD Vance, he said it way wrong. He framed it wrong. When you make statements like this on a public level, and I'm saying this as a content creator, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at this, clearly not. You have to remember that all your words can be weaponized against you. 20 years from now, someone can weaponize your words against you. 15 years from now, someone can weaponize your words against you. Things that you're saying right now, let alone whether they want to weaponize it against you right now. Huh? Let me tie all that in by saying, I think this system is so. I was about to drop the F-bomb there. This system is so screwed because we had the worst people on the planet designing this for the past few decades, and now so much is coming to a head, and half of the people that designed it are either way too goddamn old or they're dead. And I don't know if we could un-F ourselves. And that's if you can acknowledge and admit that we're effed. So going to what a split Jim is saying, it's not the blue collar men. It's not the blue collar folks mainly. Yeah, they might make fun of white collar a little bit. A lot of that is jealousy because you think these people make way more than they actually make. I'm telling you right now, I'm still in contact with a couple of people I used to work with. White collar spaces, they're not making the money you think they're making. Some of them are. Some of them are making more than you think they make. But for the most part, they're not making the money you think they make. They're not. Especially in a state like Florida, it's attorney heavy in Florida. Florida secretly is a very legislative state. Ooh, goddamn, so you letting the cat out the bag. Y'all think New York is? No, don't sleep on Florida. Per capita, we have way too many goddamn lawyers. And Mr. Z wouldn't mind going to law school. Right? I ain't tell you it had to make sense. Right? So yeah, you'll be surprised. Some of these people graduating with $200,000 in student loan debt, and yeah, they're attorneys and they practice in law and they making $60,000 a year, 65, which is not the worst money in the world, but it ain't great money when you're $200,000 in student loan debt, huh? And I'm not talking about fresh out of law school people either. By the way, I'm not talking about you're a year or two out of law school. I'm talking about the people that are 5 and 7 and 9 and 10 years out of law school, making $75,000 a year, which once again is not bad money. That's not bad money. But they've paid down their student loans for 10 years now, and they're still over $100,000 in student loan debt. Huh? The problem is that the women got so far over their head with debt that they're looking for a paymaster man. Let's tie all of this together. Let's tie all of this with a nice bow. The problem is that the women are drowning in debt. They're financially drowning, and they don't have the ovaries to overtly say, I drowned myself in consumer debt and student loan debt. I overbought this car or paid too much for this car. I'm in a condo I can barely afford, even if I have a roommate. I'm in an apartment I can barely afford, even if I have a roommate. And I need a paymaster man. That's the thing. The women are holding out for a lifestyle. Let's tie all of what we say together, answering split gym. The reason why the women have a problem with blue collar is the class element, yes. Is because they want to be, particularly for women of color, they want to be pompous little white women. They want to portray themselves as the black version of name your, you know, white television show with upper class white folks, right? That's the number one reason. But the second reason is because, quite frankly, these women are in tens of thousands, if not a couple $100,000 in debt. And they're looking for the paymaster man to get them out of it. A handful of them have the ovaries to say it and have said it on social media, but the majority of them they'll never say it. They'll, once again, shout out to LAR, they're arrogant beggars. They're talking to you like this is what you're supposed to do, because she knows if she tells you how much debt she's in and how she's struggling, even though you see her pull up in that nice Benz, you don't know at the end of every paycheck, she's trying to stretch $300 for the next 2 weeks. She's trying to stretch $400 for after she paid all her bills every 2 weeks. She has $400 to stretch. And that's not including gas in the car twice a week. And if she got a luxury car, it's premium only. God forbid you live in LA. God damn. So they're arrogant beggars. Huh? That's what it is. A split gym, that's what it is, man. They're arrogant beggars, man. And Emery Slaughter said, Brooklyn puts the lie to this that these women are okay with being the financial breadwinner. Yeah, the Kim Fosters of the world put the lie to the idea that women are just outpacing men so much financially, and all these women are self-sustaining. Even the women that are earning more than your average men are self-sustaining. If she earns $68,000 a year and she's $150,000 in student loan debt, and she has a car payment that's $700, $800, $900, an apartment that she's splitting with someone else, and she got to come up with $1,500, $1,200 just the car in that apartment. is scraping $2,000. Just the car and the apartment. The student loan debt is another $1,000, $800 a month. Fine. The student loan debt is $500 a month. We're looking at $2,500, and she didn't even start life yet. Goddamn. Huh? Thank you, Trell. Trell says no groceries, so she goes on foodie dates. Huh? Thank you. And Saint Cyr says, Z, they were too good for that Mazda CX-30. They needed that baby Benz. That Mazda CX-30 is small, though. It's really small. But let's be honest. We're talking about, like, single women. Oftentimes, we're talking about single women. I'm not even talking about the women, like the lady that I have in the description box that Single by Choice is covered. Huh? These are single women, and like you said, they can't even get that. No, they don't. They're not getting no damn Mazda CX-30. They rather spend crazy money on some toy car ass Benz GLA. Because what was the point of going to school and getting your master's degree if you can't start on these 304s? Because we know that's what it's really about. So they're arrogant beggars. And they can't end up with the blue collar man because they assume the blue collar man doesn't make any real money. Huh? Before we even get to the class element of it all, they assume the blue collar man doesn't make any money. So once again, the Split Gym, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Vince says, and thank you for the super chat. We live in an imperfect world with an imperfect system. Yep. Right. Trail says, real spiel, that 626 was a nice whip. That was a different world, Trail. Trail, that was a different world, Trail. That was before social media. Or at least before we really took it serious, starting on the gram. Can't start on the gram with a 626, Trail. Unless you have the Mazda Speed 6. But even then, that's a whole different crowd. Right. The Mazda Speed 6 was all-wheel drive, turbo, would made like 250, 60 sun horsepower, maybe 270. Right? That was a nice-ass car. Trail said I had a 5-speed with a sunroof. Trail, that's basic. I'm messing with you, Trail. I'm messing with you. That's what them girls would say now. That's basic. Meanwhile, she's driving the bottom of the barrel Hyundai accent, not even a nicely loaded or a nicely Hyundai accent with some nice features. She got the bottom of the basement Hyundai accent telling you what's basic. The funniest thing in the world. Huh? Whoever ever seen that clip, was it Desi? It wasn't Desi Banks. Who was it that did the reversal of what women do? Like, now you're gonna have to spoil me. So he pretty much act like a female. It was like he was trying to get the woman to do foodie calls. He was telling the woman what she gonna have to buy him, blah blah blah. And then he got out his car at the end of the date or whatever. He got out his car. He was on the phone with one of his homeboys, when they start bragging. And then he got out his car and he slammed the door on the car, and the rearview mirror was broken or fell off or something like that. And it was the funniest thing in the world. Somebody seen this clip too. What comedian? It wasn't Desi. It was one of these other brothers that do little shorts on IG. And it was funny because that's really what it is half the times. Right? Now, we know that there are women who got it together financially, and all they're looking for is a man that has even more. Huh? We know that exists. Either way, you're not getting rid of the hypergamy bone in them. That's for sure. You're not getting rid of the hypergamy bone, right? But continuing, what Vince said here about the imperfect system, he's right. And that, we make our calculations for that as black men in the black manosphere. We adjust, we understand that this is an imperfect system. We get it. But what you have is people that don't even know how to critique it. They don't appreciate, they take this for granted. They take this for granted. Take it as a person who was a kid when cell phones blew up. Cell phones were here when I was born. I was born in 86. Cell phones were here. No one had any. Very few people had. You had to be super rich or some type of, very important doctor. And people had car phones. In the 90s, a few more people had cell phones. In the late 90s, a few more people had cell phones. In the early 2000s, it started blowing up. Right? By 05, 06, that's when the Slim Razor was all the rage. The Motorola Razor was all the rage. And by 07, it's crazy. Any of us Xers or old enough millennials, y'all remember this? We went from the Razor being the hot phone and the Sidekick being the hot phone and the Blueberry, and I said Blueberry, the Blackberry, and then the goddamn iPhone came out with 07, 08, and that changed the world. It was over after that. If you didn't have a screen phone, then kill yourself. Then they finally got rid of the buttons. If you didn't have a screen phone with no buttons, then what were you doing? What year were you in? And that was yesterday. I know, if you're a young enough Gen Z, shout out to all my Gen Z listening. You don't really get it. You because you grew up with it. We blinked and it went from the Razor being the hot phone in 05, 06, and you blinked and it was all about the iPhone came out and the white dudes were in line for 8 years, right? Waiting for the iPhone. The iPhone came out and that changed everything. Right? That changed everything. Half of y'all don't even know what a goddamn house phone is anymore. Y'all know what a house phone is, but how many people actually still have a house phone, a house line, a home phone? Right? It's redundant. Huh? I'm saying all that. I'm using technology to draw the parallel on how fast the world changed. And it changed that fast under our feet. And so the women are still speaking this insane hypergamy that's just not a thing anymore. It's just not. A handful of women will experience that. And even out of those women that experience housewife treatment, how many of those housewives are housewives because their husband earns $87,000 a year? They bought their house 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and he's maintaining, but the cars are used. They're going on one trip a year. It's not that expensive, right? They're not living that super glamorous life. You could be a housewife. Can you be a housewife at $80,000 a year? All right, then work, right? The women are struggling, and that's what I wanted to tie in also. The women are struggling, but the women are saying, and shout out to the comment section for the video I posted in my shorts. Check the most recent short that I posted. One of the brothers in the comments said the women said I would essentially, I'm paraphrasing what he typed, but the women said I would rather no, he said women logic. I would rather struggle doing 100 than go 50-50 with a man. And that comment got a lot of likes. Of course it does, because we all know that's what it is. And you better believe women like that comment too, because they know, black women in particular, they know they homegirl that be popping crap, right? The women are struggling. That's what I'm here to tell y'all. The women are struggling. And as they struggle, you would think, this is what we learned during COVID, you would think they would get their mind together. And some will. Some will. And many will not. Some women will get their minds together. Yes, they will. And it won't take them too long. And we're not waiting for them to be in the goddamn mid-40s. No. Some of them will get their minds together. Some of them would have already had their minds together because mom and dad raised her right. Huh? And the others will be out here arrogantly begging for the rest of their life. They will be struggling, arrogantly begging for the rest of their life. That heavyset sister, and that's what I'm tying here. That heavyset sister was arrogantly begging on Kendra G's channel. She wasn't prepared. She wasn't disciplined. She went on there with no bra. She couldn't keep the camera still. Huh? When called out about it, she became irate and argumentative, but of course she did. 2 kids from 2 men trying to advertise herself on Kendra G and doesn't realize this is the time to be super humble and disciplined. Y'all don't even know how to advertise your messed up life. What man worth a damn is signing up for that, ma'am? This is why you are regulated to homosexuals, because any man above that is not messing with you. You got to be honest with yourself. The reason why you said no homosexuals, I'm gonna say it, ma'am. I'm gonna say it. Between the way you're acting and your look, ma'am, that's what you're regulated to. That's what the market says is your level. And y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And a split Jim says it was Desi. Went to Cheesecake Factory too. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that split Jim, because you saw it too. Okay. It was Desi Banks. Okay, it was Desi Banks. I kept on saying it wasn't. It was Desi Banks. That was hysterical. That was hysterical. And yeah, they making fun of it. Everybody's making fun of it, including some other women. Everybody's making fun of this because we know y'all struggling and crying yourself to sleep at night. And it wouldn't even matter. Let me be very clear why these individual things matter. This wouldn't matter if it wasn't scaled. It wouldn't matter. We would not care, and we would not be talking about this if it was only 1 or 2% of women. The elites tried their hardest, and they only got 1, 2, 3% of women to act an ass. Right? No. What we have is a number of women, namely college-educated women, who are acting an ass because they have a degree, but they earn $42,000 a year, and they're not even in the career field that their degree is in. right? Better you said Shaggy struggling, hysterical. Vincent, that appraisal value though, right? And Indigo says relegated. Ooh, not regulated, relegated. Yeah, yeah. That's actually, yeah. You're right. That is a better way of saying it. They're relegated to homosexuals. And if anyone remembers the for all of us old heads that watches Zoe Williams, especially years ago when Tone Talks was on there, it was Tone Talks, it was another sister, heavyset sister, dreads, broad nose. Funny enough, doesn't look exactly like Homegirl, and that's in the description, but somewhat. And she said something where she was like, I just essentially she just wants once in her life to not to have to pay for anything and to not be essentially, once again, like Indigo said, relegated to these bum ass dudes. And and I mentioned this before, and Tone, you could see Tone tried so hard. He tried so hard not to say that's your market value. He tried so hard because he was saying it without saying it, right? Like, bruh, have you seen yourself? Bruh, like, when she understood, when she got it, she's like, what you trying to say? And she got what he was trying to say. And when she got it, oh, she flipped out, which is exactly what this lady just did. Huh? Exactly what this lady just did. And Mr. Shook to you says there is some content creators compiling a list of the greatest hits of Kendra's call-ins. 27-year-old, four kids. No, I think that's not who I'm speaking about. I just said their name too. Single by Choices. Single by Choices. I think that's who you might be talking about. And once again, Mr. Shukti says there is some content creators compiling a list of the greatest hits of Kendra's call-ins. 27-year-old, four kids, three baby daddies. 42-year-old, two kids, two baby daddies. 38-year-old, five kids, four baby daddies. 31-year-old, seven kids. Seven kids. God damn. Seven baby daddies. Right. And I think you're speaking about Single by Choices, but you might be speaking about another channel. But yeah, that's what else do we expect? Ma'am, you couldn't even stop moving around and stop shaking your phone, and you think you were deserving of any type of understanding. That's why Kevin used to say the world doesn't owe you understanding. Mr. Z takes that quote and modifies it and say that it'll be great. It's great when people give you some type of understanding, when people grace you with that, when people give you grace, better yet, when people give you grace, when people give you space, it's great. But that's like winning the lottery. You're not, no one is obligated to give you that, right? This young lady, she literally put a bra on. What lady? You put your bra on while you were on camera. You couldn't stop moving around after Kendra told you multiple times, excuse me, stop moving around. And every time it was some excuse. Y'all like to call it reasons. No wonder you single. No wonder you're regulated to homosexuals. Ma'am, here's the realest question for you in the absolute world. What man worth a damn that has his head on his shoulders would end up with you? That's a real, I'm not even trying to be insulting. That's a question you got to ask yourself. A disciplined man that wakes up every morning and goes to work and he makes, like you said, stable enough money. He needs nothing from you financially. Why would he end up with you? Why? Mr. Shit to you says, talk about we use condoms, but I got that gripper. Ugh. Two kids from two different men. You know they like to throw up. This is why Kevin said we only count marriages. This is why he said it. But you will listen to Kevin because they do the same thing to Kendra that they did to Kevin. Have you ever been married? No, but I've been engaged. Who asked you whether you were engaged? Why do y'all feed the need? Here's the very important thing. Why do y'all feel, I said feed, excuse me. Why do y'all feel the need that when we ask you, have you ever been married? You say, no, but I've been engaged. What does that mean? Why are you bringing that up? Who asked you whether you were engaged? We said married. Would you think that's some consolation prize? No, I've never been married, but some man cared enough to propose. We just never went through with it, ma'am. That doesn't count. That's why Kevin doesn't say date. Excuse me. That's why Kevin didn't say date, and that's why he didn't say engaged. He asked, "Why excuse me? Have you ever been married?" That's why he asked that. Ask that, right? All type of weirdo stuff. The lady was 42 and couldn't stop shaking her camera. Crazy talk. The lady was 42 years old and had no discipline. 42 years old and went on Kendra G's show with no bra. Thank you, Passport G. That's a good one. That's a good analogy. And Passport G says, "Have you ever?" Well, oh, clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. Have you ever purchased a car? No, but I test drove 3 of them. That's a good. That's exactly right. And Mr. Shukti, you actually reminded me of something else. And Mr. Shukti, you says, "Why would a man be lucky to be with you?" Because I'm me, right? Shout out to Edward Anderson. Because I'm me. Um, when Kendra asked these women, "Do you have any flaws? What are your flaws?" And these women, I can't. I mean, I know I'm not perfect, but their default is that I'm too nice. Right? I'm too giving. I'm too nice. I've been naive in the past. It's always one of these like self flattery ass weirdo answers. It's always one of those. And once again, Vince, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And that's actually a great comment, by the way, Vince. We live in an imperfect world with an imperfect system. Right? Oh, yeah, exactly, Indigo. I love hard. Right? What would you say your flaws are? I love hard. Right? Oh, by the way, let me shout myself out first. I'm calling this now. I'm gonna get with compassionate. We're gonna do our sound. I'm trying. I'm trying to save up enough money to give compassionate because I want to give him the money all in one go, right? So that I just want to get like a bunch of sound clips. I gotta like timestamp the stuff so I can get like save him the video, save him the timestamp so he can cut them up so I can like have them for when I want to just sound drop my different things. I'm calling this song out now before somebody else plays it or uses it. Y'all heard it here first. Yeah, Mr. Z, you're gonna give away your idea. I'm saying it so that if somebody uses it, y'all know they got it from Z. I'm gonna use what's the damn God? How did you forget the name of the song? God damn Z, you just heard this shit the other day. Um, God damn, is it Lost and Turned Out? It's Lost and Turned Out. Compassionate. Lost and Turned. We're gonna just use the when he actually says it, right? Yeah. Yeah, but before anybody else uses it, because it's the best clip. Like that's perfect for a lot of what we talk about in the Black Manosphere, right? So I'm just saying it now because you know somebody gonna try to use it, right? Yeah, the whispers. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Lost and Turned Out. Look, if anybody uses it, they gotta hear, and I don't care because I'm still gonna use it. So we're gonna exactly the whispers, Lost and Turned Out. I promise you that would go with so much. I so regret that I didn't do this earlier. I need to get with Compassionate with this thing. I do because there's so many sound clips from different things. Because I see all this. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams and his sound clips and everything. I got a bunch of things I'm gonna clip out. It is gonna be thick. I'm telling y'all be like, no hell no. All right. Yeah. Lost and Turned Out. I'm telling you right now. So if you hear anybody use it, they got it from me. Because I've been thinking about it for a while, and I was like, I better hurry up and put this on wax before somebody uses it, and I'm gonna be like, God damn! This is gonna be one of those. You ever like come up with an idea, and then somebody just uses it before you, and you know they didn't get it from you because you never told anyone, right? But I'm saying it, hoping that nobody uses it. But even if they do, I'm gonna use it because I said it, right? I just want to make sure I say it before anybody else uses it. Yeah, so I'm just saying. Lost and Turned Out, I'm telling you. And I've been thinking about because um I've been thinking about that song because Wiz Khalifa rapped over that. He used it as a sample. And so I've been thinking about that song, using that in the Black Manosphere for the longest. And then Currency just did it on his recent project Encore, and he just had a song over that same beat. He just sampled it also. And I was like, I better hurry up and say this before somebody else uses it. All right. So yeah, I'm just there you go. I'm just, God damn it. And Trell says, old man used to play the whole song. I'm not gonna play the whole song. I just want to just when he says Lost and Turned Out. That's all we gonna clip out. Right. Because I know like there's copyright laws, and I think that you can only like I think it's like what 5 seconds, 3 seconds, or something like that, and that's just enough time to say that. And I might even speed it up. We might have to compassion. We might have to speed up like 1.25 speed just to make sure it fits into like the don't get like sanction type of thing. But yeah. Anyway, back to the topic. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So the lady, when she was given the opportunity to speak about what she thinks is wrong with her, what flaws do you have? She had none. Lady, you're a two-time baby mama and you're heavy set. You're a two-time baby mama and you heavy set. Your flaws are looking you dead in the face. I'm not saying your kids are flaws. You're a two-time baby mama though, and you're heavy set, and you don't see what your flaws are. What? As Indigo said, this is why you relegated to homosexuals. And she did not say she was, she keeps on ending with these homosexuals. She when she was asked, "What are you looking for?" She went into what she's not looking for, which you got to believe it, of course. Huh? And one of those things was no homosexuals. Ma'am, you might be regulated to homosexuals. Shout out to Indigo, relegated to homosexuals. Yes. And why wouldn't you be? What $60,000, 50, 60, 70,000, $80,000 a year man? God forbid he doesn't have children of his own. What? Why would he sign up for this? Ma'am, if you don't go end up with one of these frumpy looking ass white dudes or Latino dudes, huh? Go ahead and become a divester and swiller, talk crap about black men, and go end up with one of these white dudes or Latino dudes. You are in Nevada after all, right? Continuing, and this is actually the main event. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. This is the main event. Mister, I mentioned it earlier. I think we need to go, into more detail. Shout out to Medium Man. You can see that Medium Man is truly frustrated. As he said, for the most part, black women are going to end up with black men. They could do all the talking they want. They could all of this, white man this and white man that. Yawn. The white man don't hear you. They don't care what you talking about, right? And what I found the funniest was the sister with the bob haircut that Medium Man covered. That said, she was talking to some white man, and the white man was like, my brother, and no, she was saying my brother. First of all, I actually cut the story short myself. Let's go through it. The young lady said that she was speaking to a white man who essentially said, why do these bum ass black men think that they can speak to you? And she was like, aren't y'all, essentially she tried to do the, aren't y'all embarrassed? No, ma'am, go end up with that white dude. That white dude that told you that these bum ass black men, why do they think they could talk to women like you? You're above them or whatever. However you were trying to frame that, because that's how you were trying to frame it, by the way. Go end up with that dude. Medium Man, I'm gonna take it further than you. Because I think you said it, but to me, no. We gotta say, all you black women popping ish about how great these white men are, these non-black men, and how they know how to treat women and how they talk so positively about black women. Go end up with them then. Date out. And by the way, it doesn't count unless you have the wedding ring. Marry out. Stop it with all this fake ass shaming tactic with these mythical, magical white men. Man, we do not care. Did he marry you? Okay, then shut the hell up. Huh? All of these black women, particularly darker skinned black women, speaking so laudatory of white men in particular, but any non-black man will do, with how these white men and they treat black women so well when they were black women and they treat women whatever. If you cannot get one of them to walk you down the aisle, it doesn't count. White men will pogo stick up and down your esophagus, ma'am. Where's the wedding ring? They'll compliment you, ma'am. Where's the wedding ring? They'll defecate on black men in your presence. Where's the wedding ring? They'll defecate on black men in your presence for your own ego. Where's the wedding ring, though? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. It doesn't count, ma'am. It does not count unless you get married to that man. Unless that man puts a ring on your finger, it does not count. It doesn't count, ma'am. So medium man is going through the numbers. We already know 0.5% of white men are married to black women. We know this. Medium man, I hear you. I hear you, brother. The women don't care nothing about that. They're going to continue to use these mythical, magical white men as some type of encouragement mechanism, as some type of shaming tactic to get black men to do what they feel like black men aren't doing. In other words, provide, protect, and shut up. Let's say that again. Using white men in these mythical, magical white men and non-black men to get black men to provide, protect, and shut up. We already know 2/3 of men in America never makes more than $65,000 a year. That's 2/3 of all men. That's white men, black men, Latino men, Asian men. And yet you let black women like this talk. And these white men are paying all the bills at their house and their wife don't have to lift a finger and what? These omnipotent, omniscient white men. And then she got the nerve to say, essentially, aren't y'all embarrassed? Ma'am, we're not the ones begging white men. We're not gay. You're the ones begging white men. Huh? Embarrassed by what? That a white man said, okay, let's say that, first of all, I don't even believe you. I just want to say that. Let me actually put that on the record. I don't believe your story. So let me put that on record now. I think you're lying. But fine, let's say you're telling the truth. For argument's sake, let's say you're telling the truth. Fine. Did he marry you though? Did he even ask you out on a date? Okay, fine. Did he asked you on a date? Okay, fine. Y'all did go on that date. Let's say, okay, fine. Y'all went on the date. Okay, fine. Y'all had sex. Where's the wedding ring? Huh? And there you go. Where is the wedding ring? Fine. The white man threw black men under the bus in front of you, and you were turned on by it. Fine. He asked you out. Let's say all of this. I'm not saying she said any of this. I'm saying, let's say that did happen. Y'all went out on a date. Y'all went out on 2 dates. Y'all went out on 3 dates. Y'all had sex. Cool. Where's the wedding ring? Huh? And that's what I thought. Are black men embarrassed? Are black men embarrassed that black women like you attempt to use these mythical, magical white men to shame them into being chocolate dip white men? Say that better, Z. Chocolate dip rich white men? No, no, ma'am. We're not embarrassed. We're not embarrassed that you have watched way too much Disney, and you think that you can shame black men into waking up tomorrow and being rich white men. Huh? Oh, let's make sure we say this all the way. Rich white men that provide, protect, and shut the hell up, unless, of course, they're kissing your ass. Huh? And then the other lady, and we've seen that clip before, that speaks about, essentially, um, black black men are the problem. Essentially, is what she said. The reason why black women struggle dating is because black men are the problem. That sounds nice, and that's why a quarter of newlywed black men are dating out. Excuse me. Said that marrying out. Said that wrong. Marrying out. That's why a quarter of newlywed black men are marrying out. Right? There you go. Now what? Yeah, black men are not on black women's level. Cool. And all those black men that are not on black women's level said, you know what? Let me just marry out. Huh? If we take everything that we've heard black women say about black men, particularly online on social media over the past, we'll say 2 decades, really 15-ish years, but fine, we'll say 2 decades. If we take everything black women say at face value, right? Black men are secretly on the DL. Black men are effeminate. Black men are also hyper masculine while being effeminate. Tell me how this math. I don't know. Black men are inept. Black men are incapable. Black men are sexist. Black men are misandrous. Excuse me. Black men are misogynist, and black men are misandrous towards other black men. Black men are misogynoirist, which means black men hate black women. And we say, take all this. Black men are colorist, featurist, texturist. I know for a lot of you that never heard these words before, I know. And we take all of that at face value. See, BGS and colorist. Yeah, I didn't forget BGS. I didn't forget. If we take all of that at face value, and newlywed black men at a clip of about 25% said, okay, fine, you know what, ladies, black women, you're right, we're all of these things. And the best thing we can do for you is just remove ourselves from you and marry outside the black race. There you go, to that young lady that Medium Man covered. There you go. Now what? Oh yeah, patriarchal. With what patriarchy? I don't know. No, Vincent, don't forget narcissist. Don't forget Dusty, PGS and Dusty. Right? We're all of these things, all of the pejoratives. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. And we don't take education seriously, right? We're not cultured enough. We're not well traveled enough. We don't have the class. We don't have the tact. We don't have the discipline, right? We refuse to have the discipline for black women. What Ashley Acuna said on the grapevine one time, we essentially, and I'm paraphrasing her, we never miss an opportunity to defend a white woman from a black woman. Says black feminist, funniest thing in the world. Funniest thing in the world to see that coming out of black feminist mouth. Huh? Let's say y'all are right about all of that. And why wouldn't black men say, you know what, you're right about all of it. And the best thing I can do for you, the best thing I can do for you is get the hell away from you. It's to marry outside of the black race. That's the best thing I can do for you. Because that is what would help you. And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And it says, oh, y'all give Z 1 second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. And BJ says, I'm going to do what the devil won't do, leave you alone. No, seriously though. Because if that's the calling, and I'm tying all this together. That's why my title is there. It's struggling. It's really struggling. Then I might as well. You said you could do battle by yourself. Dear ladies, that's what you said. Dear black women, you said you could do battle by yourself. You're saying you would rather do 100 by yourself than go 50-50 with a man. When Kevin asked you years ago, and y'all didn't change because we was in the middle of COVID, y'all said this. If a man doesn't help you significantly with your bills, is it worth being with him? Y'all said no. If he doesn't elevate you financially significantly, is it worth being with him? Y'all said no. That's what y'all ladies said. Y'all the same way. The man been dead for 10 years. I mean, said 10 years. Excuse me. 2 years. Same thing. Y'all still on the same thing. These women are really actually struggling. They're arrogantly begging, and that's what it really is. It's arrogant begging. It's arrogant begging. If something like what 13-ish% of the U.S. population makes 6 figures or more, so $100,000 up. If it's something like 13%, that means what 87 or some odd percent. And by the way, that's not consistent. Just because you make 100 this year, don't mean you're going to make 100 next year. So give or take, we know 70% of American men never make 100 in their life. Never make $100,000 in their life. But yet, and if that's 70% of American men, then what does that mean for the women? If it's 70% for the American men, then what's that 85% of American women never make more than 100? We know what 17% of American men made 100 last year or something like that. And it was what 8%, 8.8% or something like that of American women. That's American women writ large. That's not black women. Huh? So if y'all talking this way, then y'all can have it. Struggle by yourself. You're right. You could do better by yourself. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The white man is better. Hopefully you could get one, but I'm not going to wait for you to get one. I'm leaving now. Huh? For all us Xers under 50, all us millennials, all us Gen Z, we're going to see, they're going to be screaming. You hear me? This is the part that Media Man didn't mention. I'm going to go there with it. These women going to be screaming. It's up to you. Shout out to BGS. It's up to you if you're going to do something with them, or if you got the conscience to save them, or if she looked good enough with her 2 kids that you're going to sign up for that. Huh? Even Crystalline Karazin of all people. Crystalline Karazin, could you believe it? Crystalline Karazin of all people pretty much said life gonna have to humble them. Right? Life is gonna have to learn them. If I didn't hear it with my own 2 ears, I wouldn't believe it. If Louis told me that, I would have been like, oh, hell no, Louis. Ain't no way, Louis. You sure you wasn't drinking that night? If I didn't hear it with my own 2 ears, I would not believe it. And I got Mr. Z's about to say it. I can't believe I'm about to say it. Crystalline Karazin was right. Leave these women to their own devices. Shout out to you, Only Logical. I see your channel. Leave these women. Leave them to that white man. Leave them to him. Leave them to their own devices. Shout out to Media Man. I see the frustration in him. I'm not saying he'll admit to it. I see him getting annoyed. Yes, Media Man, we wasn't lying. I know you thought we was a bunch of, He-Man women haters over here, brothers that's mad at black women because how horrible our sex life or our relationship or dating life is going or has gone. Nope. If you didn't know, you would not know that black women's answer to everything concerning black men is, I'm going to just date out. Okay, then do it. Right? If it's I would rather it not be a competition. I want to be very clear. I'm like attorney Dennis Sperling on this. I would rather black women and black men be together. That's my preference. But if it's a competition, then put your seatbelts on. If it's a competition, put your seatbelts on. Huh? Because you're going to give up the vagina to that white man. And white women will give up the vagina to the black man. The difference is black men not getting married to the white man. Black men not getting married to the white man. It happens. It happens. Black men not getting married to the white woman, but still getting vagina, we win. Black women not getting married to the white man, but him not having that experience, oh boy. And you still didn't have the mixed kid. Well, damn. Huh? Huh? So to medium man, I say I get the frustration, I get the anger, I get it. And that's just black women talking. They're just talking crap. The majority of them don't got the over. Let's be. I'm gonna call a thing a thing. The majority of black women already know what white women want from them, and that's all he wants from you, and that's all he's going to do with you. They could talk all the crap about black men they want. Black women know what white men think of them. That's why they never actually ask them. Let me call it. Let me look, man. I've been in spaces with black women and white men. Black women know how white men see them. They know they're too cowardly to actually say it because it'll rip their goddamn ego to shreds. Black women know how white men. I'm not talking about Latino men, and they really don't want to know what Asian men think of them. And I'm speaking even for nice, fit black women. Oh, you want to talk about racism? You want to talk about anti-blackness? Black women know. They just hope you don't. That's why they try to gaslight you with these mythical, magical white men. That the only reason, and like the black women said that Medium Man covered the first one. No, the issue is that black women are too loyal. Then prove it. Don't be loyal. Prove it. Don't be loyal. Right. And black men and women will mix over time. And Charles says, truth is, black people must mix. Just don't talk ish about black folks who ain't and can't. This is the thing. Black people would mix over time. That's not the issue we're having. We're having an issue of black women weaponizing their social political position over black men against black men, as if that gives them higher standing in the society. Yeah, maybe politically, socially, where are the white men marrying y'all? Where were the white men chasing Simone Sanders down? Let me be very clear. Good-looking white men. Oops. I know she's married. Simone Sanders is married. Where were all Simone Sanders been in DC for how long now? She's married to a black man. Where were all the good-looking, rich, connected white men that were chasing her down? Whoops. Huh? That's what I thought. Kim Foster went to Harvard. Where's her white husband? Yikes. Jodie Turner-Smith gave the vagina up to Joshua Jackson the first night. She proposed to him. Married, divorced. Lupita fallen behind her. Broken up. Huh? Y'all gonna keep on pretending like y'all don't know what country y'all live in just to spite black men? Okay, then sacrifice your bodies to the white dude then, goddamn Z. Because that's all you're doing. And this, we not in our grandfather's generation, our great grandfather's generation. These young men are not doing nothing with no black woman after she went over there on some, I'm gonna get you back, black men. I'm gonna get you back. I got something for you. I know what I'm gonna do. I got watch this. All those watch this ass black women. All right. Shout out to all of you watch this ass black women. You're gonna go get you a white man ass black woman. You're gonna get you a Latino ass black woman. That heavy set young lady that Single by Choice is covered. She's in Nevada. You're in Nevada. Where's your frumpy white man? Huh? Where's the white sugar daddy? Where's the Latino? You don't have to end up with a black man. You're in Nevada. If you say you're in Vegas, you're in Nevada. Vegas, Reno, you're in Nevada. Where's your frumpy white man or frumpy Latino man? Where's your white sugar daddy? Huh? To that black woman with the bob that was saying, essentially, are black men not embarrassed? Did that white man marry you? No, then shut the hell up. I get medium man's frustration and anger. Black women weaponizing these white dudes against black men. Black women weaponizing these white men against black men. Well, if he don't marry you, does it count? Fine, y'all counting the mixed kids. If you don't get the mixed kid in the wedding ring, fine, we'll go to the bottom of the bottom. We'll go in the basement. If you don't at least get the mixed kid, does it count? Well, he was paying my bills. Do you have any proof of that? Huh? Do you have any proof of that? These women are struggling and they're talking crap. These women are struggling and they're talking crap. And that wouldn't be the end of the world if it wasn't scaled so far up. These women are talking crap while struggling and looking for paymasters. And it matters because it's scaled too far up now. That's the problem. It matters for us as millennials because I'm telling you right now, that lady is 42 years old. That means, and she's calling into Kendra. You see the way she look. She told you the last dude she had anything with was years ago, and she's been in Vegas. Let's say I take her at face value. She ain't do nothing in 3 years. I doubt it, but or was it a year? Let's say a year. She ain't do nothing sexually with a man in a year. Well, okay, fine. We'll take it at face value. Maybe not. I don't like the way she look, but fine. We'll take it at face value. You're in Vegas. You said you're in Vegas, ma'am. You're in Vegas. Tourists coming in and out of Vegas. Tourists, white, black, Latino, Asian, Middle Eastern coming in and out of Vegas. Single men coming into Vegas, groups of men coming into Vegas for days, for a week or two, flying in and out. Why aren't you married yet? You got a dating service right there. Vegas is a goddamn dating service within itself. Huh? I know this compassionate, and compassionate says, Z, that's why they push alternative family formations outside of trad marriage. They want to remove that measuring stick to get to, so getting ran through and situationships is harder to adjudicate. I don't look, man. You to these ladies, you know what? Polite society will play like we agree with you. We don't. Uh-oh. I said it. The gold standard. Who said in many ways the gold standard is still marriage? No, it is marriage. Period. And so in polite society, just for your own egos, to all you single mothers, we'll pretend like yeah, he wasn't on your level, and he wasn't good enough, and you had to leave him, and y'all were engaged, and it didn't work, and we'll pretend like we believe that crap you're talking. We'll pretend like it's on the same level. We'll pretend your engagement was the same as a marriage. We'll pretend with you we don't believe it. We're pretending. I'm letting you know right now we're pretending. We're pretending. Right? And it's really the men pretending at the behest of their wives. At the behest of their girlfriends. We don't actually you're lucky if you left it up to the men, it'd be off with her head. We're only pretending because our girlfriends and our mothers and our wives and our aunts and our grandmas told us to be nice. Somebody tells Z he's lying. Huh? Of course they don't want to go through it. And compassion, that's what I was saying earlier, which is like, rest in peace, Kevin. But even Kendra G is asking, have you ever been married? And the women who've never been married always say the same thing. What's that? Z? No, but I've been engaged. Yawn. No, but I've been engaged twice. No, but I've been proposed to. Ma'am, was that the question? No, but I just. No, was that the question? No, but. Why did you feel the need? And anybody get this to Kendra or get Kendra to ask this question. Start asking to those women, why did they feel the need to say that? I asked you if you've ever been married. Why couldn't you just say no? Where does that engagement conversation come in? Huh? Yeah, they don't want to be judged by a measuring stick. You better believe it. They don't want to be judged by anything that makes them feel bad, feel shame, feel lesser than. Mr. Z is 5'9". It don't matter what I do, I will not be 6 feet. Huh? It doesn't matter what I do, I will not be 6 feet. To hell with my feelings. Huh? When my height is measured, my height is 5'9". Period. So of course they don't want to be held to that measuring stick. Well, it ain't my fault that I wasn't married. It's because these ain't ish men. These men are not on the level, and it's not my fault I ain't never been married. These men are the problem. Ma'am, you're 45 years old. You're telling me the men have been the problem the entire time? You are 45. You've been an adult for over 20 years. For 24 years, you've been a legal adult. Well, I said, I'm thinking 42. I'm saying 45, thinking 42. Ma'am, you're 42. You are 45. You've been a legal adult for 24 years, for 27 years. You're trying to tell me for 24 to 27 years, you've never met a man that was husband material for 24 or 27 years? It's not you? Wow. Huh? Wow. Compassion said the realest thing with that. They don't want to be held to the measuring stick. They don't want that's why marriage it don't matter. I don't and who was it? The young lady that who covered that? The young lady that said, I would like to get married, but I'm perfectly okay with being single. But like marriage is, I want to get married, but it's not like I need to get married, but I want companionship. In other words, the sisterhood compels you to say that you are perfectly okay with being single, but you desperately want a man. And so the reason why you sound conflicted, the really reason why you sound schizophrenic is because the sisterhood said, don't you dare, for the collective of the sisterhood, for our collective ego, hubris, and pride, don't you dare say that you're lonely. We do not give men that type of social and political power. Absolutely not. Huh? If you notice, the women that called into Kevin and the women that are calling into Kendra G and the women that are calling into Ashley Dalton, they never say they're lonely. Really, they're lonely. By the way, I'm not saying they are lonely, but they never say it. Why? David Banner ass, millionaire, famous rapper, is telling you, okay, yeah, it's about that time. Look, yeah, I want to have a family. I want to pass all this down to someone. David Banner is telling you that, and these bum ass women that's earning $65,000 a year who feel the same way, have too much pride to say it, man. If you don't stay single and lonely with your rose toy, fine. You got too much pride and you don't want to give men that type of power, then stay single with your rose toy then. By the way, we still on the struggle. I'm still on topic. And Pastor OG says heterosexual marriage is a patriarchal construct. True. And with that, if you don't sign up for it, then you get what you get. No more societal obligations from men that you gave the middle finger to because you didn't want to be married, because it's patriarchy. Huh? No rent a husband's ass things, Miss Sherry Shepherd. Nope. Absolutely not. I was saying this to my so shout out to one of my coworkers. I ain't gonna say his name. Um Talking to one of my coworkers, and he was telling me he's gonna go out of town for um homecoming for one of the schools, for a school that he attended. Um and he was telling me one of his boys who still lives not too far from the school was saying he still sees some of the women that they went to school with and whatnot. And for all of us, we already know that women then got big. Some of them have done all the things they said they would never do. They're now dating or baby mamas to the type of men they said they would never give a chance to, et cetera, et cetera. We already know. Anyone over the age of like 25 have been through this, right? We see them. We see them when they start gaining weight. We see them after they had a kid from the same type of dudes that they thought they were better than, et cetera, et cetera. We see them, struggle through their career life. We. And he said the friend told him, bruh, don't come out here saving these 304s. Leave them where they at. Huh? How am I tying this to what I'm saying? They're struggling. That's what the friend was saying. They're struggling. Leave them where they're at. And he said, you know what? You remind me of my boy Z. You remind me of Z. You know why? Because when he was telling me the story, before he even told me his boy was telling him, leave them where they're at, I was like, they're bums, bro. They're bums. They're bums. They're just cute bums. They're bums with a vagina. We call men bums when men are bums. When men are bums, we call them bums. And a man doesn't have to be literally on the street for us to call him a bum. He doesn't literally have to be homeless for us to call him a bum. We know a bum when we see him. But for women, she got to be on the street for us to call her a bum. And even then, we don't really want to call her that. They're bums. I was like, bro, they're bums. We just don't call them that because they have a vagina. And half the time we want to pipe. Even though she put on weight, even though now she's even more insufferable than she was before because she's angry her life didn't go the way she was dreaming about it when she was 21 and 22. Right? And so now we're grabbing her out of the discount bin. I said it as offensive as I meant it. Now that we're grabbing her out of the discount bin and we still want to pipe as we wanted to pipe 15 years ago, we wanted to pipe 15 years ago, and so we're grabbing her out of the discount bin to pipe. She thinks that means something. It doesn't mean anything. They're bums. They're arrogant beggars. They're swaggy beggars. They're aggressive beggars. Telescope said swaggy bums. They are swaggy bums. They're bums. I understand the world we're living in. Mr. Z understands the world we're living in. I understand the economic hardship. I get it. But if you're an arrogant a-hole, all of that sympathy go out the goddamn window. I'm Haitian, so y'all already know Haitian brothers and sisters are living in mama and daddy house, all in their 40s. You better believe it. I said it. But if you a swaggy bum, shout out to Telescope. If you're a swaggy bum, yeah, you make it. Yeah, you're a nurse. Okay, cool. You're a nurse. You earning a good $65,000 a year, and you got you a nice little, you know, you got you a nice little C series, right? C series Benz. Okay, I see you, huh? Or better yet, you have your GLC or GLB. Okay, I see you. And you 38 living at home with your mom, talking about what you're not gonna settle for. You're a bum. Screw your $65,000. You're a bum. Z, but she makes 65. How's she a bum? She's a bum. Because you're looking for a man to live off of, and you're trying to use, well, that's what a man's supposed to be. You know what? Stay in your mother's house for the rest of your life. Huh? And this, I already told y'all this. I already exposed this. Dear ADOS FBA, this is one of the most open camps. This is what a lot of, this is not even just a black immigrant thing. This is what a lot of people are doing to y'all. They having y'all and they're encouraging y'all to kick y'all kids out at 18 or 21. These people got their kids living in their house all in their 30s and 40. If that kid ain't married, and they're adult children, I mean, obviously, kid. If their adult children isn't married or don't have no kids, they got their 28-year-old daughter, their 35-year-old daughter, their 38-year-old daughter, their 42-year-old daughter. If you don't believe me, go ask the Nigerians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Bahamians. If you don't believe me, living all in their house. Their daughter making good money. She earning $71,000 a year, $72,000 a year, $65,000 a year. But she's looking for a particular man and a particular lifestyle. That's why she's 38 years old, still living at the house. Huh? We're not talking about your kid that messed up all in their 20s and then finally got their mind right. And you're not going to kick him out because you watched them getting their life together and he's 32 or she's 32. And now she earned 43 with the potential of earning 75 type thing. Nope, nope, nope. We talking about kids that went to school, they got their degree, they did the things the right way, and they still holding out for the lifestyle, for the man that provides the lifestyle. Huh? Jay, everything is killing me with the herpes. I saw the comment earlier. Now he's saying swaggy herp. Right? They're bums. And I remember I went all the way up to 65 and 70 something thousand. Let's be honest. These women are earning $42,000 a year, $38,000 a year, $45,000 a year. God forbid she earning 55 and over. You can't tell her nothing. Black women are earning $42,000 a year, living at home with their parents because they're holding out for the man that's going to come in the door earning 90 plus and start paying for everything. These women are bums. They're bums. They're mean, aggressive, arrogant, swaggy bums. And they're hoping that the society and your mothers would have raised you that it's your job to pay for everything. It's a man's job. They sound like Steve Harvey. It's a man's job to take care of some wife and kids. Yeah, that sound nice. Tell your mean, snarky, a-hole, bum-ass daughter no. Z, why you calling her a bum? She earned $65,000. She's a bum. Going to the title, they're struggling. If she sounds like Real Talk with Yanni, what's the incentive? She's a bum. Yanni could say that she's making good money off of YouTube. And look at her mental and emotional state, though. Goddamn, Z. No, ma'am. You can't say that as a 38-year-old earning $35,000 a year working at Walmart. No. And you're one of the few lucky ones that earn 35. Compassionate says her debt to income ratio makes her a bum, pops. Hashtag thanks, dad. Hysterical. Trail says she comes over and asks for your Wi-Fi because her phone hasn't been on in 3 months. Bum. I just want you to understand the precarity of this society it's crushing. When you're on the wrong side of the bills. Oh, it's crushing. Mr. Z been there? When you're on the wrong side of the bills, oh, and the bills are sitting on your shoulder, it's crushing. And the women are too egotistical to say it, so they try to hit you with obligation. It's your job to the second you start dating the chick to just start blowing money on her. Just get a fan and just let the dollars fly in front of the fan right to her. That's your job as a man. No, she's a bum. It would be better if y'all just went to the table and negotiated the finances monthly for her. I would rather know when I'm actually engaging in 10 toes type of activity. When I'm dealing with a pros, could we actually speak like you're pros? Like you're a pro? Better yet, excuse me. If I have to pay for your time in that way, then I would much rather have a on the table negotiation instead of you pretending like, oh, well, you know, this is what it is. I mean, like, we're in a relationship, aren't we? No, ma'am, this is a negotiation. This is not no goddamn relationship. And let's be very clear. There are certain men, they'll pay for the box. They'll pay for the box and they'll pay for the companionship and they'll pay for you to be at the event and y'all do the whole girlfriend-boyfriend experience thing. If you would be bored with it, and y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back, right? But yeah, no, so, you know, okay, reckless streams, and so Mr. Z gonna have to end out abruptly. But no, so I just want to make sure that I say this. They're bums. And going to the title of the video, they are struggling. These people are struggling. I'll probably come up with a part 2 to this either later on tonight, if not tomorrow morning. That gives you a second. And we're still here. So yeah, no, I'll probably do a part 2 to this. Might bring up a panel. I'm not guaranteeing it. Might bring up a panel, but we'll see. And once again, ending out, Chief Rock, I did not forget about you. Buckeye fan, I did not forget about you. And yeah, I need to get with some of y'all yeah. Um, as I said, they're struggling, and this is what it sounds like. Y'all check the links in the description box. I'm gonna actually put the link for for the short that I had. So I'm gonna post that right now. And yeah, and what was the song that we said earlier? We had a song for the stream. What was it? It wasn't Lost and Turned Out. It was something else. What was the song? Somebody said it. I was like, that's the perfect song for this. God damn! Somebody put it in the comments and after the stream so I could post it and put it in the description box. And so we'll go from there. All right, y'all. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Mr. Z out. Oh, I said that wrong. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Oh yeah, it was Lost Boys. Thank you, Trill. Thank you. All right, y'all.